The actress who was blacklisted for telling the truth. There's a specific sound actors talk about. The sound of a phone that used to ring constantly. Going quiet. Not broken. Not off. Just quiet. Maura Voss knew that sound for 2 years. And the strange part? She wasn't the one who did anything wrong. Maura was 29, and she'd been working steadily for about 6 years. Nothing that would make her famous, but enough. Third lead in a crime procedural nobody remembers the name of now. The best friend in 2 different romantic comedies. The kind of face where people say, "Oh, I know her from something," and can never remember what. It's a real career. People forget that. It's not the top of the mountain, but you're on the mountain. Then she got cast in something bigger. A film with a director everyone in her circle was practically begging to work with. The kind of project where your agent's voice changes when they tell you about it. And on that set, she watched things she wasn't prepared for. A first-year assistant getting screamed at over a coffee order. A younger actress, 22 maybe, pulled into a trailer alone and told, more or less, that her career would be over if she said a word to anyone. 16-hour days that nobody logged correctly, because logging them correctly would have meant paying people what they were owed. Maura kept telling herself it wasn't her problem to fix. That's the sentence, isn't it? It's not my problem to fix. People say it to survive rooms they don't have the power to change. She almost made it through the whole shoot without saying anything. Then, on one of the last nights, she watched that same 22-year-old walk off set crying for what must have been the 3rd time that week. And Maura sat in her car in the studio lot afterward and just didn't turn the key. So she wrote everything down. Dates, what was said, who saw it. And she sent it to the union rep and to HR. Not to a reporter, not online, nowhere public. Just the people whose actual job it was supposed to be. She thought that was the boring, responsible, correct thing to do. For a few weeks, genuinely nothing happened. That's almost the worst part, looking back. The delay. You start to think, maybe it's fine. Then, an audition she'd already been offered got quietly unoffered. Scheduling, they said. A month after that, her agent stopped texting back the way he used to. Not rude, just slower, shorter. And then, one afternoon, he called. Not to fight for her, just to let her go. It's not personal, he said. You're just hard to place right now. Hard to place. That's the phrase. Nobody ever said blacklisted. Nobody would ever put that word in writing, because then it's a lawsuit. It's just a series of small, deniable, unconnected non-events. And after enough of them, you're gone. She heard later, secondhand, from someone who wasn't even trying to be cruel about it, that the word going around casting offices was that she was a headache. 2 years is a long time to be a headache, with no headache-causing incident anyone can point to. She sold her car, moved to a smaller place near her sister, took a job at a clothing store folding sweaters, hoping to God nobody clocked her from that one shampoo commercial that still ran sometimes at 2 a.m. There were nights, more than she'd probably admit to, where she stood in front of the bathroom mirror in that apartment and asked herself the obvious, unhelpful question. Was any of it even worth it? Because it wasn't just the work she lost. It was harder to explain than that. When performing is the one place you've ever fully recognized yourself, and that room closes, you start to wonder who exactly is left standing in the mirror. Nothing about the turn was dramatic. And I think that's worth saying, honestly, because most comeback stories lie about this part. It was a Tuesday. She was folding her own laundry this time, and on the TV in the background, one of her old scenes came on. A rerun. Muted. Something she'd forgotten she was even in. And she started crying. Not the sad kind. Something closer to angry or hungry. Hard to separate the two, honestly. She picked up her phone, the same phone that had gone silent for 2 years, and instead of waiting on it, she pointed the camera at herself. She wrote a short film that same night, 4 minutes, about a woman who tells the truth, loses everything for it, and has to figure out whether she'd do it again anyway. She shot it in her apartment. One desk lamp, a white bedsheet taped to the wall as a backdrop. Edited it on a laptop with a crack running across the corner of the screen. And I want to be honest about her motive here, because it matters. She wasn't making it to get discovered. She'd stopped believing that was even a realistic outcome. She made it because she needed to feel like herself again for 4 minutes. That's genuinely it. She sat with her thumb over the upload button for, she said later, a stupidly long time. Long enough that she started to feel ridiculous just standing there. Then she posted it and closed the laptop before she could change her mind. For 3 days, basically nothing. 40-something views, her mother refreshing it. Then a film critic, not a huge name, but a respected one in certain circles, shared it with a short caption, something like, "This 4-minute short has more honesty in it than most of what played in theaters this year." By the next morning, it had 10,000 views. By the weekend, past 500,000. And what people kept saying in the comments wasn't about the lighting or the editing, obviously, because there wasn't much to praise there. It was that it felt real in a way a lot of things don't anymore. About a week later, an independent director messaged her. Someone who'd built his whole career outside the old system, mostly on purpose. It wasn't an audition. It was an offer. A lead role, written partly because of what he'd seen in that apartment shot short film. The film came out about 14 months later. Mara walked a red carpet for the first time in her career. Not as the friend who dies to give someone else motivation, as the reason